Good day po, Sir Dean, and we are the Group 5 po, and today we will be presenting the Chapter 7 of our lecture module, which is all about statistical intervals. First of all, I am Cyrus Kirk Ayanabahmandron, and excuse me po, the reason why I'm recording alone po is because nung nagre-record po kami kanina is nagka-error po yung laptop ko, which is hindi po naka-record yung voice ko, pero na-record po yung mga voice ng kaklase ko. So I'm just recording ulit po now. So I'm gonna start po with my topic. So let's move on po with our intended learning outcomes. So at the end of this lesson po, it is expected that the students will be able to construct confidence intervals using single and multiple sample, construct a prediction for a future observation, construct a tolerance interval for a normal distribution, and lastly is explain the three types of interval estimates: confidence interval, prediction intervals, and tolerance intervals. So let me again introduce myself. I am Cyrus Kirk Ayanapamandron, and I am the first presenter of our group. Now proceeding to my topic po. 7.1 Single Sample Estimating the Mean. In statistics, estimating the mean of a population involves determining a range of plausible values rather than a single point estimate. This range is known as a confidence interval. CL, a confidence interval provides an estimated range that is likely to contain the true population mean along with a confidence level, commonly 90%, 95%, or 99%, which reflects the reliability of the estimation. So when we estimate po a population mean, we don't just give one value. Instead, we use a range of possible values that the true mean might fall into po. This range is called the confidence interval po. The confidence interval po tells us how reliable are our estimate po. And using those confidence level po that is usually 90%, 95%, or 99% po. A shorter interval po means our estimate is more precise daw po. So even though we can't be completely sure that the interval contains the exact population mean, we can be highly confident that it's close po. So to make this idea easier po, we're gonna move to our first problem po of this topic. So the first subtopic of this topic po is the confidence interval on the mean of a normal distribution with a variance known. So this is the formula po. We have values in this formula which is the sample mean. We also have the critical value or the confidence level, and we have the population standard deviation and the sample size and the standard error of the sample mean. So the formula works by taking the sample mean and adding or subtracting a margin of error, which depends on how spread out the data is and how many data points you have. A higher confidence level makes the interval wider because you want to be more certain it contains the true mean po. So applying this concept po to our first problem, let's now proceed po. Sample number 1. IEC Standard 60751 defines standard test methods for precision measurement of resistance in metallic conductors. In a lab, 10 measurements of resistance were taken from identical copper wire segments at room temperature. The measured resistance are 10.2, 10.5, 10.3, 10.4, 10.3, 10.6, 10.4, 10.5, 10.3, and 10.4, all in the units of ohms. So assume that the resistance values are normally distributed and the population standard deviation is known to be 0.15 ohms, and we want to find a 95% confidence interval for mu, the true mean resistance of this type of copper wire. So sabi po dito, we are given 10 measurements of resistance from identical wire segments, and alam po natin yung population standard deviation of this resistance din po. And our goal po is to estimate the true mean resistance of this type of wire po. So to do that po, we are asked to calculate 95% confidence interval. This means po, we want to find a range of values in which we are 95% confident that the true mean resistance lies po. So again po, next slide po. So here po, meron po tayong given na sample size which is 10, a sample mean of 10.39 ohms. Nakuha ko po itong sample mean na to by adding all the resistance and dividing them by 10 po, which is their total mean. So that's why I get the sample mean po, which is 10.39 ohms, and we are also given a population standard deviation of 0.15 ohms and a confidence level of 95%, which in our level of confidence in Z table is equal to 1.96. So here we have our formula po. So now we're gonna calculate this to get the results using our online calculator here in my here po sa ating left. And moving to the next slide po, halagay po natin yung mga values natin into our formula using our calculator po. So here po yung solution ko. So now let's input po yung solutions ko po dito po sa ating calculator if tama po yung naging answer ko po dito. So we have here a 10.39 ohms, which is our sample mean po, subtracting to the confidence level po, which is 1.96, and multiplying it by our standard deviation, which is 0.15 po, over square root of 10, which is our sample size po. So here we get for our lower limit, which is the subtracting side, we get here an answer of 10.29702903679, or just simply 10.29 ohms. And now for the upper limit po, kunin din po natin, we're just gonna change the operation po into addition po. So let's see po, it's same po dun sa answer ko po. So ayun po, ang lumabas po is 10.48297096321, which is simply just 10.48 ohms. So it is same po in my solution po, which is we can prove that it is correct po. So we can say that we are 95% confident po that the true mean resistance of this type of copper wire lies between 10.29 ohms and 10.48 ohms po. So moving to our next problem po. Okay, so sample problem number 2. A renewable energy company is testing the current output of 50 lithium-ion battery cells used in a solar-powered microgrid to ensure the batteries meet performance standards. The engineers measure the current of each cell under a standard load. The average current recorded from the sample is 1.85 amperes, and the population standard deviation of the current is known to be 0.12 amperes. So we are asked to find a two confidence interval, which is 95% and 99%. For the mean current output of all battery po. So again po, we are given a sample mean of 1.85 amperes, a population standard deviation of 0.12 amperes, a sample size of 50, and a confidence level of 95% and 99%. So let's see our given po here in our next slide. So we have here 95%, which is equivalent to 1.96, and a 99%, which is equivalent to 2.575. So again, we're just gonna integrate these values po into our formula to get the answer. Let's see po. So here, we have a sample mean of 1.85 amperes, subtracting it by our confidence level, which is, let's first compute the 95% po. So since 95% is equal to 1.96 po, we're going to subtract this to 1.96 po, and then multiplying by our population mean, which is 0.12 amperes, all over our sample size, which is 50. So let's see. So we get an answer of 1.81 for our lower limit. So, and let's check for the upper limit naman po. So we did get 1.8832623029 amperes, or simply just 1.88 amperes. To see if this is correct po, let's see my solution po here in the next slide. So here po is my solution. So dun po sa lower limit ng ating 95% confidence interval, we did get a results of 1.81 amperes, or simply just 1.82 if we rounded it off, So we get a 1.82 amperes, and in the upper limit naman po, we did get a 1.88 amperes po, which is the same in my solution po. So for the 95% confidence interval po, we found that the true mean current output lies between 1.82 and 1.88 amperes po. So for the 99% confidence interval naman po, here is my solution po. So as we can see in the previous slide po, 99% confidence interval is equivalent to 2.575, which is papalitan lang po natin here sa ating calculation if same po, palitan lang po natin. So here in our upper limit po, we did get a 1.89 amperes here, and for our lower limit naman po is we did get a 1.806 values po, which is equivalent to, if rounded off, is simply 1.81 amperes. So we did get the exact and same answer po. And I hope that clarifies po. We're just gonna substitute the values po that we are given into our formula, and that is how we solve po. Easy, right? So now let's move to our last problem of this subtopic po. Oh, sorry. So sample number 3. The average resistance measured from a sample of 80 high-precision resistors used in a voltage divider circuit is 100.4 ohms. So we are asked to find the 90%, 95%, and 99% confidence intervals for the mean resistance of all resistors in the batch pro. So assume daw po natin that the population standard deviation is 2.5 ohms. So let's proceed to our given po. So again, here we are given with a sample size of 80 and and 100.4 ohms. We also have standard deviation of 2.5 ohms and a confidence level of 90%, 95%, and 99%, which are all equivalent to this level of confidence. So again po, i-integrate lang po natin yung values natin into our formula. So let's do that now po. So here, papalitan ko lang po yung confidence interval natin here ng first point is let's solve for the 90% interval po, which is 1.645. Okay. So ang ating pong sample mean is 100.4 ohms po. And we have a standard deviation of let's change the sample size. We have a sample size of 80 daw po and a standard deviation of 2.5 ohms po. So for the lower limit po, we did get the value of 99.94020852213 ohms po. And for the upper limit naman po, ang nakuha po natin is 100.859791477787 po. So let's see po if correct po yung naging answer po natin. Palitan ko lang po ulit ang operation natin ng subtraction since ito po yung laging una. Lower limit then upper limit po. Then let's see may solutions po here na our PPT po. So we did get the same answer, which is 99.94 ohms and an upper limit of 100.85, or if rounded off is 100.86 ohms. So we can say po that for the 90% confidence interval, we found that the true mean resistance lies between 99.94 and 100.86 ohms po. So yun po yung interpretation natin sa answer po natin sa 90%. As well as here po sa 95% and 99%, I mean, magiging same, ganun din po yung interpretation nila, but different po yung magiging answer. Syempre po kasi tumaas po yung confidence level. So, yun po yung ginawa ko din dito. Pinalitan ko lang po yung confidence interval natin ng kung ano po yung level nila to get the answer po. here in the upper limit of our second confidence level po, which is 95%, we did get the upper limit of 100.94, which is equivalent to 100.95 here. Makikita nyo po sa solution ko, and that's correct po. And let's see naman po sa 99%, palitan lang po natin ng 2.575 po ito. Let's see if it's correct po. Yun, so ang nakuha ko po sa upper limit po here is 100.12 if rounded off, which is same here po. So that's po, I hope na naintindihan niyo po yung topic na ito. Ang topic pong ito ay kino-cover lang po yung lower limit and upper limit po ng topic pong ito. So now let's proceed to our next subtopic po, which is the change of sample size po. So the choice of sample size helps determine how many observations are needed to estimate a population mean with a desired level of accuracy and confidence po. A larger sample size produces a more precise estimate, narrower confidence interval, while a smaller sample leads to a less precise estimates. This concept ensures that our results are both reliable and practical, balancing precision with the resources available for data collection. So the choice of sample size po is about determining how many data points or observations are needed to collect in order to make our estimate accurate enough daw po. So remember po that when we estimate the population mean using a sample, we always include some uncertainty po, syempre po. That's why we use a confidence interval po, usually which is 90%, 95%, pataas po ng pataas. However daw po, the width of that confidence interval or how precise our estimate depends on the sample size po. So if our sample size is small po, the confidence interval will be wider po, meaning our estimate is less precise, but if we collect a larger sample po, the interval becomes narrower po. So our estimate of the mean becomes more reliable po. So here po, sa next slide po ang ating pong formula. So here is our formula po, where we are given a values of E, which is the margin error po, and we also have here a critical value, which is the confidence level from our Z table, and we have also here a population standard deviation, and lastly is the sample size po. So to understand this better po, let's proceed to our problem number 1 po here in this subtopic po. So sample problem 1. In the EE lab, we measure the output voltage of a bench power supply. Past measurements show the population standard deviation is about 0.30 volts, and you want the sample mean to be within an error margin of 0.10 volts of the true mean with 95% confidence. How many samples are needed daw po? So let's proceed to our given po. So here po ang ating given. So we have here a given population standard of 0.30 volts and an error margin of 0.10 volts and a confidence level of 95%, which is equivalent again to 1.96 in our reliable confidence table. So now po, i-integrate lang po natin itong values na to into our formula po, and now let's do that po with our calcu. So here's my solution po. I'm gonna input the values in our calculator to see if my answer here in the presentation is correct po. So here po. So here we have the confidence level, which is 1.96, multiplying it by our standard population, which is standard deviation po, which is 0.30, over our error margin po, which is 0.10. So, oh wait, ito po, naka-squared po pala siya. So here we did get the same answer po. However, nakalimutan ko pong ilagay, make this as a whole number po. So it must be a whole number po because this is a sample size po that we are finding. So this must be a 35 po if made into a whole number po. Hindi po siya pwedeng may decimal points. It must be a whole number po. So moving on to our next problem po. So here, an electrical engineering team is evaluating the average output power in watts daw po of a new solar microinverter model. Prior studies indicate the population standard deviation is 1.50 watts daw po, and the team wants the sample mean to be within an error margin of 0.40 watts of the true mean daw po. And with the 99% confidence daw po. And how many microinverters should they test daw po? So, ang hinahanap po nila dito is how many microinverters should they test daw po, considering na mayroon tayo 99% confidence interval po. So, to get the result po, let's proceed to our next slide. Here we have the given of standard deviation of 1.15 watts and an error margin of 0.40 watts and a confidence level of 99%, which is again equivalent to 2.575. So, integrate lang po natin itong values natin here in our formula po. So, ang sabi po dito is, ang confidence level daw po is 2.575. And meron din daw po tayong standard deviation na 1.50 watts and an error margin of 0.40 po. So, ang naging sagot po dito sa ating calculator is 93.243.164.062.5 or simply 94 po because hindi po siya pwedeng may decimal. Dapat po whole number siya because this is a sample size po. So, let's see po if correct po. So, here in my answer po, it is same po and I make it as a whole number po which is 94. So, to conclude po, 94 microinverters are needed po. Yan po. So, let's proceed naman po to our third and last problem of this subtopic po. So, an electrical engineering team is studying the mean efficiency of a new lithium battery design. They want the estimate of mean sufficiency in percent to be within an error margin of 0.4% with 99% confidence from previous experiments. The standard deviation is about 2.5% daw po. However, due to time limits, the team can only test 80 batteries. Will 80 samples meet the desired accuracy po? If not daw po, what is the actual margin of error achieved with an sample size of 80 po? So, proceed po tayo. So, may given po tayo na standard deviation which is 2.5% and also an error of margin which is 0.4% and a confidence level of 99% which is equivalent to 2.575. Also, we are also given an available sample size to check which is 80 po. So, since standard deviation is known po, we can use the Z-based formula for sample size po which is this formula po. So, first po is, let's determine if 80 samples are enough po based on the question itself po here sa ating problem. So, let's just integrate first the values into our formula po. So here, I'm just gonna change the values here in our calculator. So, it says that we have 2.5 standard deviation and an error margin of 0.4. So, the answer that we get is 259.008.789.062.5, which is 260 po. So, to see if we are correct, yes, we are correct po based on my solution here in our solution. But, since 80 is much less than 260 daw po, which is hinakuha po natin, so, ang sagot po dun sa will 80 be enough po is 80 samples will not meet the required accuracy daw po. So, it's a no-no po. So, here again po, may nag-ask din po sa atin, if not daw po here. If not, what is the actual margin of error to achieve with a sample size of 80 po? So, let's see po kung ano po yung magiging actual margin of error niya po. So, here po in my solution po, I just manipulated or rearranged the formula to get the error of margin. So, ito po yung naging formula ko for error of margin, which is error of margin is equal to confidence level multiplied by standard deviation all over square root of sample size po. Since na given po yung sample size natin, which is yung 80 po sa problem, So let's try to write the given here using the formula po. So sabi po dito is meron po tayong confidence level which is 2.575, multiplying that by our standard deviation which is 2.5 po, all over square root of 80, which is our given po. So here it says ito po yung naging results natin, 0.71973438026, which is simply 0.720. So ito po yung naging sagot ko din, same lang po. So to conclude that po, the required sample size to achieve the desired accuracy of 0.4 po is 260 batteries. Since the team can only test 80 batteries po, this is not efficient po. Doon po sana ko natin sagot kanina. So the actual margin of error using 80 samples is approximately 0.720% po, which is greater than the desired 0.4% po. So therefore, the team must either increase the sample size or accept a less precise estimate po. Yun po yung naging interpretation natin doon. So I hope na naintindihan niyo po yun. So since this is the last problem of this subtopic, let's now proceed to the next subtopic of this topic po. So here po, we have the one-sided confidence bounds on the mean with a variance known. So a one-sided confidence bound is used when we only need to know whether the population mean is at least or at most a certain value po. Instead of giving both lower and upper limits like a two-sided confidence interval, the first subtopic po, yun po yun. A one-sided bound provides only one limit, either a lower or an upper bound po. So here po we are only, this only provides only one limit po, either lower or upper bound daw po. So this method gives a tighter range in the direction of the interest while maintaining the same level of confidence po. So we already know po that the confidence interval usually give us two limits po. Yun nga po yung lower and upper po, para po mapakita where the true population mean might fall. But sometimes po, we only care about one direction. For example po is, we may want to prove that the voltage level is at least a certain value po, or that the average defect rate is not more than a limit. In those cases po, we use what's called a one-sided confidence bound po, which is ito po. Instead of forming two limits po, it only forms one, either a lower bound or an upper bound depending on what we need po. So ang advantage po ng paggamit po ng one-sided bound is that it gives us tighter range in the direction po, or tighter estimate in that direction po, because it uses a slightly smaller z-value compared to the two-sided interval po. So if we want a lower bound po, meaning we want to be more confident that the true mean is not below a certain value, we subtract the margin of error from the sample mean po. And if we want an upper bound naman po, meaning we want to be confident that the true mean is not above naman po a certain value. In this case po, we add the margin of error instead of subtracting po. So let's see the formula here po. So here we have a two formula po, which is an upper confidence bound and a lower confidence bound, which are where their values are a z-value, a critical value po. So they also have sample mean, a population standard deviation, and a sample size po. So ang pinagkaiba lang po nila is their operation po. The upper po is addition and the lower po is subtraction. And here po sa problem po, sa mga dadating po nating problem, gagamit din po tayo ng z-table po here to find the z-value po. Kaya gagamit po tayo ng table na yan. So now let's see po in our problem number 1. So problem number 1. A digital multimeter has a known measurement standard deviation of 0.10 volts. A student measures the peak voltage across a capacitor 9 times, obtaining a sample mean of 5.12 volts. So we are asked to find the lower one-sided 95% confidence bound for the true mean voltage. So now po, let's comprehend this question po. Ang sabi po dito is find the lower one-sided. So meaning we will use the formula for the lower bound po, since we are asked to find the lower one-sided 95% confidence daw po bound for the true mean voltage po. So here po yung aking solutions po, and that's given po. So here meron po tayong given na a standard deviation which is 0.10 volts, a sample mean of 5.12 volts po, and a sample size of 9 po, and a confidence level of 95% po, which is hanapin po natin sa Z table natin if ano po yung pinakamalapit sa 0.95 para po makakuha po natin yung kanyang Z critical value po. Here po sa Z table po. So, zoom ko lang po. So, ang ginawa ko na lang po dito is sasabihin ko na lang po kung alin po dun. So, from here po, 1.6 since ito po yung naging ko dyan. Ito po 1.65 kasi siya po yung pinakamalapit sa 95% po. So that's why yan po yung ginamit kong value here in our Z table po. As you can see po, 1.645 which if we round off po is simply 1.65 lang din po. So here in my solution po, let's see po if correct po ito. So we have a sample mean of 5.12 volts. Subtracting it by our confidence level or the Z critical value which is 1.645 multiply by our standard deviation which is 0.10 volts and a sample size of 9. So ito po yung nakuha ko sa lower bound po. 5.0651666667 volts, which is the same as my solutions po here in our PPT. So, to interpret these results po, we are 95% confident that the true mean peak voltage mu is at least 5.065 volts po. So, yan po. So, let's proceed to our next question po, next problem po. So, in testing a new circuit board, the propagation delay per trace is measured. Past records show a standard deviation squared of 0.16 and squared. A random sample of 36 traces gives an average delay of 3.8 ns. Find an upper one-sided 95% confidence bound for the true mean delay. So, dito naman po sa problem ito, ang inaas po sa ating hanapin po is yung upper one-sided 95% confidence naman daw po. Meaning, we will use the formula for the upper bound po. So, seeing my solutions here po, ito po yung solution ko. So, we have here a population standard squared po. Since naka-squared po siya, i-convert lang po natin siya into here po, para simple po kasi ang required na naman po sa atin is standard deviation po, not the squared version po. So, we need to convert that po. So here I convert the 0.16 which I get the 0.ns po. So we have here also a sample mean of 3.80 ns and a sample size of 36 and confidence level of 95% which is again equivalent to 1.645 po. So here's my solution for the upper bound po. So let's check po if correct po itong naging answer po dito for our upper bound po. Palitan lang po natin yung values po natin here sa ating calculator at yung operation din po which is addition po. So 3.80 po yung ating sample mean po. Wait po. Okay. And then we have standard deviation of 0.4 and a sample size of 36 po. Ngayon, ito po pala ang operation ko. Ito po napalitan. So, ayun po yung nakuha ko po. Wait. 0.4. Hindi ko po pala nalagyan to ng square po. May bad. Ay. Square. 36. Ayun po lang. So, ayun po yung nakuha po natin which is 3.9096666667 ns po. which is just equivalent to 3.91 po. So same po yung nakuha nating answer here that proves, this proves po na tama po yung calculations ko na sa nakuha ko po. So to interpret this po, we are 99% confident po, we are 95% confident po pala that the true mean propagation delay is at most 3.91 ns. Since at most po, we use the upper bound po, that's why we use the word at most po. If lower bound, we will use the word at least po. So ayun po, I hope you get that po. Thank you po. So moving now to the last problem of this subtopic po. Here we have the sample problem 3. An engineer monitors the temperature of a transformer coil during continuous operation. The known sensor standard deviation is 1.5 Celsius degree from sample size of 25 readings. The sample mean temperature is 79.6 degrees Celsius. So we are asked to find the lower one-sided 99% confidence bound for the true mean temperature. This time po, going back, we are asked for the lower bound naman daw po, like the sample number 1 po. So let's try to solve this po. So here I have my solutions po, and we have given here a standard deviation of 1.5 Celsius degree po and a sample mean of 79.6 Celsius degree and a sample size of 25 po, and we have here our critical confidence level po, which is 99% po, is equivalent to 2.33. Here po kung hahanapin po natin sa ating Z table po, going back to our Z table po, yung 2.33 po yung equivalent ng ating yung ating pong percent po. Here po 2.33, which is yung 99% confidence level po natin. That's why I used the 2.33 value po. So going back to our solutions po. So here po yung problem 3 po natin. Here, tingnan po, check po natin ulit if tama po yung naging sagot ko po dito sa solutions ko po by showing you live the calculation po. So here, palitan ko na po agad yung kanyang operation, which is subtraction po. And given po tayo ng sample mean po, which is 79.6 degrees Celsius. And yung ating pong confidence level is 2.33 po. Multiplying it by our standard deviation, which is 1.5 degrees Celsius po. And our sample size, which is 25 po. So, same po yung naging answer ko, which is 78.901 Celsius degree po. So, to interpret this po, we are 99% confident that the true mean temperature is at least 78.901 degrees Celsius po. Since we did use the lower bound formula po, that means it is at least po. If we use the upper bound po, it will be at most. So to conclude our discussion on one-sided confidence bounds po on the mean when the population variance is known, one-sided confidence bounds allows us to estimate either a lower bound or an upper bound po para po makuha po natin yung true population mean with a specified level of confidence po. A lower bound daw po give us a value that we are confident that the mean is at least equal to po. And an upper bound gives a value that we are confident that the mean is at most equal po, kagaya po laging sinasabi ko. So when the population variance is unknown po, but the sample size is large, usually 30 or more po, we can estimate the population mean using the sample standard deviation in the distribution po. So moving on to our next subtopic po. Here we have the large sample confidence interval on the mean po. So it is stated here when the population variance is unknown po, but the sample size is large, like sample size is greater than 30 po, we can still estimate the population mean using a large sample confidence interval by the central limit theorem po. So the sampling distribution of the sample mean becomes approximately normal even if the population itself is not po. In this case, we replace the unknown population standard deviation with the sample standard deviation S po. So instead po yung O po na Greek word, papalitan po natin siya ng sample standard deviation po. Hindi na po siya population standard deviation since yung population standard deviation po natin is unknown. We will use the sample standard deviation which S po and use the Z distribution to construct the interval po. Here we have the confidence interval po in our formula po, which is sample mean minus confidence level interval multiplying by sample standard deviation all over square root of our sample size po. So this method is widely used po when handling real-world data where the population variance cannot be measured but a sufficiently large sample is available po. So inaalaw po ng formula na to na makapag-construct po tayo ng mga large sample confidence interval even without knowing the population variance po. So let's see po sa ating problem po by applying this concept po to our problem. Here we have po our sample problem number 1 regarding this subtopic of large sample confidence interval on the mean with an unknown population standard, but we have kapalit po niya which is yung sample standard deviation po. Proceed po tayo sa ating problem number 1. So a machine's output voltage is measured 40 times, sample mean voltage is 12.3 volts, and the sample standard deviation is 0.5 volts. Assuming the population variance is unknown nga po, find a 95% two-sided confidence interval on the true mean voltage. So here's the next slide po. I have my solutions po. So again, ni-write ko lang po yung given natin, which is we have a sample size of 40 as sample mean of 12.3 volts and a sample size, sorry po, nakalimutan ko po siyang palitan ng S, pero ay S po pala yan, mukha lang po siyang 0 pero S po yan, sorry po kung ganyan sulat ko. So we have a sample standard deviation of 0.5 volts po and a confidence level of 95%, which is again po equivalent po sa 1.96 based po sa table po natin. So here I have my solutions po. So let's see po if this solution of mine is correct po by integrating these values to our formula po here in our online calculator po. Let's see po. So we are given daw po na 12.3 volts. Since hahanapin po muna natin yung yung subtracting operation niya po. Let's see po. Subtracting it by our confidence interval po, which is 1.96, multiplying it by our sample standard deviation po, which is 0.5 volts over square root of our sample size, which is 40 po. So here we did get the same answer here, which is 12.145, which is also, when we round off, is equivalent to 12.15 volts po. So now let's see po with our operation plus addition. So ito po yung nababas niyo po. So to interpret this po, we are 95% confident that the mean voltage lies between 12.15 volts and 12.46 volts po, based on our answer po. So now let's proceed to our next problem po. So sample problem 2. A quality control engineer measures the processing time of 50 units of a machine. The sample's mean processing time is 20.5 seconds and the sample standard deviation is 2.1 seconds. So we are asked to find the one-sided lower 90% confidence bound for the true mean processing time po. This time po we are asked to find the one-sided lower. So like meron din po tayo ditong lower and upper bound or limit po. So in this problem po, we are asked to find the one-sided lower 90% confidence bound, which mean we will use the operation of subtraction po since lagi po natin yung gamit sa ating mga lower limits or lower bound po or whatever lower we have here in our topic po. So showing you my solution po. Here I have my given of sample size which is 50 and a sample mean which is 20.5 seconds and a sample size of 2.7 seconds and a critical and a confidence level of 90% which is equivalent to 1.28, right? Which is this is the one-sided po. So here I have my solutions po. Let's see po if tama po yung naging solutions ko dito. By palitin ko lang po yung operation natin dito and yung values din po natin. So we have here a sample mean of 20.5 seconds po. We also have the 1.28 confidence level po. Multiplying this by our sample standard deviation which is 2.7 seconds, and here our sample size which is 50 po. So ito po yung lumabas na sagot which is same as my answer here in our PPT po, which is 20.011 for our lower bound or lower limit po. Let's see if naman po yung ating upper limit po. If it's the same po, yes. So yes po, it is the same po, which is 20.988 po. So to interpret this answer po, the 90% one-sided lower confidence bound for the true mean processing time is approximately 20 approximately lies between 20.011 and 20.988 seconds po. So proceeding to our last problem po for this subtopic of my part po. So here, a batch of 60 samples from a manufacturing process has a sample mean weight of 15.8 grams and a sample standard deviation of 0.9 grams. So we are asked here naman po to find an upper one-sided 99% confidence bound for the true mean weight. Meaning po, we were gonna use the addition operation po because we are asked to find an upper one-sided naman daw po. So here again po my solutions and given. Here po meron po tayong sample size na 60 and sample mean of 15.8 grams and a sample standard deviation of 0.99 ay 0.9 grams po and a confidence level of 99% po, which is again equivalent to 2.33 po. So let's just change the operation here po ng let's see po for our lower bound po muna. Based po sa solutions ko, tingnan po natin if same po yung makukuha natin sa lower bound po. Patan ko lang po ito ng operation natin is subtraction po. So meron po tayong sample mean na 15.8 grams and our confidence level po is 2.33 po. And our sample standard deviation naman po is 0.9 grams po. And we have a sample size of 60 po. So here in lower po, nakakuha po ako na 15.529,278,4641 which if we round off po is equivalent to 15.53 grams po. So let's see naman po sa ating upper bound po. So sa upper bound po, nakakuha po ako ng 16.0707215359 po based on my calculation here, which is also same here in my calculation po sa PPT po. So meaning to say po that the 99% one-sided upper confidence bound for the true mean weight is approximately lies between 15.52 grams and 16.07 po grams. So this is the last subtopic of my part po. Now I am passing the mic to our next presenter po which is Mr. San Felipe po. Thank you for listening po and have a great day.
Lang muna. Okay, for our next topic, we have confidence interval on the mean of normal distribution variance unknown. if X bar and S are the mean and standard deviation of random sample from a normal distribution with unknown variance. A 101 minus alpha percent confidence interval on mu is given by sample mean minus T alpha over 2 and minus 1 times standard deviation over square root of n. And sample mean plus T alpha over 2 and minus 1 times standard deviation over square root of n. Where T alpha over 2 and n minus 1 is upper 100 alpha over 2 percentage point of the T distribution with n minus 1 degrees of freedom. So, dito sa slide na to is makikita natin na ang ating formula na confidence interval. So, kapag hindi natin alam si population variance. So, ang kailangan natin gamitin is si sample mean and si sample standard deviation. So, ibig sabihin is ini-estimate lang natin si totoong mean. So, gamit ang ating sample. For our next slide,
Okay, so
here our first example, Meralco LED produce light bulb whose life in hours is normally distributed, but the population variance is unknown. A sample of 15 bulb is tested and the sample mean life is 120 R with a sample standard deviation of 50 R. Find a 95% confidence interval for the true mean life of the bulbs. So, panoodin natin ang solution for example number 1.
okay, so let's start sa example number 1. So dito, sinulat ko na yung nasa given, yung ating sample size, sample mean, at saka standard deviation. So makikita nyo naman dito sa ating example, itong a sample of 15 bulb. So ito yung ating sample size, 15 bulb. The next one is the sample mean. And the sample mean life is 1200 R with a sample standard deviation of 50 R. So dito sa example number 1 is ang hinahanap natin is itong 95% confidence interval for the true mean life of bulb. Okay, so let's start kung paano natin kukunin ang 95 confidence interval kapag unknown yung kanyang population variance. Okay, so una, mapapansin nyo, ang confidence level natin is 95%. So, ito, sinulat ko na. And then, ibig sabihin, gusto nating makasiguro na 95% ang ating nasa loob na interval natin. Yung totoong mean niya. So, yung natitirang 5% is yun yung tinatawag na alpha. So, ito siya. So, 1 minus 0.95 is equal to 0.05, which is siya yung ating alpha. Ito. So, next is i-divide naman natin siya sa 2. So, makikita niyo dito sa formula, ito, alpha over 2. So, para makuha natin itong t na to, i-divide muna siya, yung alpha divide 2, which is ito. Yan, divide na. So, 0.05 divide 2 is equals to 0.025. Input lang siya sa calcu, then yun na yung ating dito sa ating t. May answer na tayo dito, which is 0.05. Then, next natin is itong degrees of freedom. So, ang degrees of freedom naman natin is n minus 1. So, input lang natin tong ating sample size, which is 15 minus 1 is equals to 14. So, nakita na natin yung degrees of freedom natin, which is 14. So, nilagay ko lang dito, plug in ko lang itong a over 2. Then, yung ating degrees of freedom, which is 14, then yan. Ito na yung ating t. So, para mahanap yung ating t, gagamit tayo ng t-table. So, may provided t-table na ako dito. So, ang hinahanap natin para makuha natin yung value ng t is ito. Is 0.025 then 14. So, ibig sabihin nasa 14 row siya dito. Ito makikita nyo naman dito sa t-table. 14 row, ito, 14. And then, yung kaninang value natin is 0.025. So, dito, tingnan nyo lang sa table, row 14, and then 0.025. Okay, ito. So, ang value ng t natin is 2.14479. Okay. So, nakuha na natin yung value ng t natin. So, ni-run off ko lang para maikli. And then, pwede natin siya i-plug in sa ating formula. Ito, yung ating formula. Then, plug in sa ating formula. Sinubstitute lang. Ating sample mean is 1,200. Yan, lagay lang. Plug in lang natin. And then yung ating t, which is ito, 2.145, then times 50, ang ating standard deviation, and then over square root of sample size. Ito, which is 15. Then yan. And dito, plug in nyo lang din siya yung mga values natin, then makukuha natin. So, dito, kinumpute ko muna to. So, ang kakalabasan niya is 27.7. Then, dito sa kabila, 27.7 din. Then, for the final answer, compute lang 1,200 minus 27.7. And dito sa kabila is 1,200 plus 27.7. So ang calculated natin is confidence interval is nasa 1172.3 and 122.7. So ito ang ating final answer. So, ibig sabihin nito, may 95% tayo na nakakasigurado na ang totoong average na buhay yung ating light bulb ay nasa pagitan ng 1,172.3 at 1,227.7. Okay, so let's start for example.
And for our example number 2, a group of electrical engineer test the current in amperes drawn by a new model of LED light. The measurements are normally distributed but the population variance is unknown. For a sample of 20 LED lights, the mean current is 0.45 amperes with a 0.45 amps with a sample standard deviation of 0.05 amps. Find a 90% confidence interval for the true mean current. So let's watch the solution for example number 2.
So let's start for example number 2. So makikita nyo naman sa given kanina na ang ating sample size is equals sa 20 light bulb. And then ang ating sample mean is 0.45. And then ang ating standard deviation is 0.05. And ang ating confidence interval na hinahanap is 90%. And then ang ating, para makuha yung alpha, is i-minus lang natin. 1 minus 0.90 is equals to 0.10. So, yun ang ating alpha. So, ang next natin is divide natin. So, makikita nyo naman dito, yung alpha over 2. So, dito, ito yung ating alpha, dinivide siya sa 2. So, makukuha natin is 0.05. Then, sa degrees of freedom, makikita sa formula na n minus 1 yung ating degrees of freedom. So, substitute lang natin. Itong n, ang ating sample size is 20 minus 1 is equals to 19. Yan. So, para makompute natin yung ating t is tingnan natin siya sa t-table na nasa row 19 at 0.05. So, tingnan natin sa t-table. So, ito sa t-table natin. Row 19 and then sa katapat ng 0.05. 0.05. Okay. 0.05. Then sa row 19. Dito. Yan. So, ang ating t-value natin is 1.729. So, ang tama, ang ating na compute dito, 1.729. So, nakuha na natin lahat. So, let's plug in na natin sa ating formula. So, ang ating sample mean is 0.045, plug in lang. And then, ang ating t-value na 1.729 is lagay lang natin 1.729, and then ating times standard deviation na 0.05, yan, and over square root of 20 ating sample size. Sa kabila 0.45 ang ating sample mean plus ang ating t-value is 1.729, then times standard deviation na 0.05 over square root of 20 na ating sample size. So, pwede nyo, ito, lagay nyo lang sa calcu, then makukuha nyo na yung answer dito. So, kung gusto nyo naman, ginawa ko to, itong, kinumpute ko muna to para hindi kayo malito. Kumbaga, para makita nyo pagkakasunod. Yan. So, 0.45 minus 0.193. So, makukuha natin is 0.437. And dito naman sa kabila is 0.45 plus 0.193 is equals to 0.4693. And this is our final answer. Yan.
And for our last example,
So for our example number
a technician is measured the lifespans of LED bulb. The lifespans in R is normally distributed, but the population variance is unknown. A sample of 10 bulb has an average lifespan of 2,500 R with a standard deviation of 100 R. Find the 99% confidence interval for the true mean lifespans.
3, so makikita nyo naman sa given kanina, ang ating sample size is 10 and ang ating sample mean is 2,500 R and standard deviation is 100 R. So, ang hinahanap sa example number 3 is 99% na confidence interval for the true mean lifespan. So, hanapin muna natin yung ating alpha. So, 1 minus 0.99 is equals to 0.01. So, ang ating alpha is 0.01. And then, divide naman natin si alpha sa 2. And then, divide. And then, ang kakalabasan niya is 0.005. And then, ang ating degrees of freedom, ito ang formula, n minus 1. Then, plug in ating sample size na 10 minus 10, and then minus 1. So, makukuha natin is 9. Next is, hanapin natin siya sa t-table na 0.05, then sa row 9. 3.05, 0.05, row 9. Ito. So, ang 0.9 and 0.005 is 3.249. So, ito ang ating t-values. I-round off ko na lang para hindi masyadong mahaba. Next natin is plug in sa formula. Yan. Sample mean is 2,500. Then ang ating t-value na 3.250. Yan. Plug in. Standard deviation is 100. Ating sample size is 10. And then dito sa kabila, 2,500 ang ating sample mean plus t-value the standard deviation over sample size, square root of sample size. Then yan, lagay sa calcu, and then ang makukuha natin is 2397.23, and then dito naman is 2607.77. So, ang ating final answer is ito.
And for t-distribution, let x1, x2, and xn be a random sample from a normal distribution with unknown mean and unknown variance. The random variables is t is equals to sample mean minus mu over standard deviation over square root of n. Has a t-distribution with n minus 1 degrees of freedom. So dito sa slide na ito is, 'di ba, hindi natin alam si variance. So kaya ginagamit natin si t-distribution kapag hindi natin alam si population variance. So let's have an example.
Okay,
Here our example number 1 is Energizer company test 5 batteries. the voltage reading in volts are 1.4, 1.6, 1.5, 1.7, 1. And 1.5. If the population variance is unknown, find the t-value for testing if the average voltage is 1.4 volts. So, start natin ang video for solution sa problem number 1.
Sa example number 1. So, okay. Sa example number 1, may lima daw tayong batteries na sinusukat. Which is itong 1.4, 1.6, 1.5, and 1.7 at 1.5. So, hindi daw natin alam ang population variance. So, find the t-value for the testing if the average voltage is 1.5 volts. So, lagay na natin yung ating sample size. Ang ating sample size is itong nasa given. So, 1.4, 1.6, 1.5, 1.7, and 1.5. So, ang ating sample size is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yan. Then, next is ang ating mu. Yung ating average voltage na 1.5. Ating mu. Then, since hindi natin alam ang ating sample mean, so, compute natin siya sa pamamagitan ng ating given na 1.4, 1.6, 1.5, 1.7, and 1.5 over ating sample size na 5. So, lagyan natin sa calcu. Plus 1.6 plus 1.5 plus 1.7 plus 1.5 over yung ating n na 5. Yung ating answer, final answer sa ating sample mean is 1.54. So, nakuha na natin ating sample mean. Yan, ito. Ating sample mean na 1.54. So, ang next natin kukunin is yung standard deviation. So, paano nga ba kunin yung standard deviation? Okay, wait lang. So, para kunin ang ating standard deviation, ito ang ating formula sa standard deviation. X minus x bar squared over degrees of freedom na n minus 1. So, compute muna natin tong nasa taas. Yan. Lagyan lang natin yung ating nasa given na 1.4 minus sample mean na 1.54. Ina-compute natin kanina. Itong 1.54 na to. Yan. Next is yung nasa given na 1.6 minus 1.54 ng ating sample mean squared it, and ganun din sa iba. Computein din natin. 1.5, 1.7, 1.5. Yun. Next, pag na-compute na to, ito ang ating answer. 0.0196, and then dito sa 1.6, 0.0036. Then 1.5, 0.1.54 squared equals 0.0016. Then sa 1.7, makakompute natin is 0.0256. Sa 1.5 is 0.0016. So, pag na-compute na natin tong lahat is total natin or yung sum nito, sum nitong lahat. So, total nito, pag nilagay ito sa calcu, ito yung ating magiging total. So, since tapos na natin, lagyan na natin dito sa ating sample, sa ating standard deviation na sa formula. Yan, 0.052. Next is yung ating degrees of freedom. Ito, yung n-1. So, compute muna dito. n-1, ang n natin is yung 5 kanina. Ito. Yan, n-1 is equals to 4. So, ilalagay natin dito. It's a Fermi lang to. Ilagay natin yung 4. Yan. Then, pwede na natin makuha yung ating standard deviation. So, lagay lang natin sa calcu. Square root. Yan. 0.052 over 4 yung ating degrees of freedom, and equals, yan, ito na ating magiging final answer. Yan, 0.1140. So, na-compute na natin ating standard deviation. Yan. Yan, makikita nyo. Inisa-isa ko lang dito. Yan o. 0.052 over 4. Then, square root to. Yung answer dito. 0.13. Then, makukuha natin yung 0.114 na na-compute natin sa ating calcu. Okay, next natin is plug in. Since na-compute na natin lahat ng values, plug in na natin dito sa ating formula na sample mean minus mu over standard deviation over square root of n. Okay, substitute ang ating sample mean na 1.54 minus mu na 1.55 over standard deviation na 0.114 over n na 5. So, lagay lang natin sa calcu. Minus 1.5 over standard deviation na 0.114 over square root of n na 5. Yan. Then, equals, yan ang ating final answer. Ating t-value is 0.78. Yan. T-value is 0.78.
And for our example number 2, a technician measured the weights in kg of 4 electronic devices 2.5, 2.7, 2.6, and 2.4. Population variance is unknown. Find the t-value for testing if the average weight is 2.5 kilograms. Let's play natin yung
Number 2 ay may 4 daw tayo na electronic device na na tinitimbang. So, ang natin is 4 devices na yon is yung 2.5, 2.7 at 2.6 at yung 2.4. So, 4 yung ating sample size. 4. So, and next, ang ating mu na 2.5 na makikita nyo naman doon sa example number 2, makikita nyo doon na average ng timbang natin is yung 2.5. And then, hindi pa natin alam doon yung sample, yung ating sample mean. So, kukomputin muna natin siya. Ito yung nasa given na 2.5, 2.7, 2.6, at 2.4. So, add lang yan lahat. Over n, which is 4 to, yung nasa given, n, 1, 2, 3, 4, over 4, yan. Then, mako-compute na natin is 2.5. So, meron na tayong ating sample mean. Next is kukumputin natin yung standard deviation. So, ang standard deviation is ito yung yung kanyang formula. So, unahin natin dito sa as. So, paano ma-compute yun? Ito. So, ang x, ito yung ating nasa given. So, compute lang natin is plug in. Yan. Pa-plug in natin siya dito. Yan. Yung 2.5 minus 2.55 na yung ating sample mean. Yung kanina kinompute natin. Tapos, squared. So, if na-compute na natin siya lahat, itong lahat ng equation na to, ito, na-compute na natin, is, total na naman natin siya, or yung sum. So, if na total, is lagay na natin dito sa ating formula. Ang total natin dito is yung 0.5. So, 0.05 to. Over yung ating degrees of freedom na n-1. So, compute muna dito. Degrees of freedom, n-1. So, ang n natin is 4. So, 4 minus 1 is equals to 3. So, ang ating degrees of freedom is 3. Yan. Then, lagay na natin sa calculator. Lagay natin 0.05 over na-compute natin na degrees of freedom na 3. So, lagyan natin 3. Yan. At ito na ang ating final answer na 0.29. Yan. Okay, so na-compute na natin ang ating standard deviation. Next is, pagkatapos na-compute na natin itong lahat na kailangan natin para sa formula, kunin naman natin yung t-value. So, ang t-value is ito yung formula niya. Summation, itong tawag dito, sample mean minus mu over standard deviation over square root of n. Then substitute the values. Ating sample mean 2.53 pala. 2.55 pala to, minus 2.5 over 0.129 yung ating standard deviation, then over yung ating sample size. So, yun. Lagay natin to sa calcu, then mako-compute na natin to. Itong ating t-value.
For our example number 3, a small store tests three power bank for how long they take to fully charge. 3.2, 3.5, and 3.3 hours. The population variance is unknown. Find the t-value if the average charging time is 3.4 hour. Play natin yung video para sa solution number 3.
So, for our example number 3, makikita nyo doon sa given, yung ating sample size na 3.2, 3.5, and 3.3 R. So, ito yon, nakasulat na dito. And then, yung ating mu na 3.4. So, unknown yung ating population variance. So, sabi sa given, find the t-values if average charging time is 3.4 hour. So, first is calculate muna natin si sample mean. So, plug in lang 3.2, 3.5, and 3.6. Yung nasa given over yung n, which is 3. So, plug in natin dun sa, pag kinompute natin dun sa calculator, lalabas si 3.333 ang ating sample mean. Next is si standard deviation naman. Okay, standard deviation, ito si formula. Square root of x minus x bar, then squared over degrees of freedom. First, compute muna natin si itong nasa taas na to, si x minus x bar. So, ito makikita natin dito, x minus x bar, compute muna. Then, plug in natin yung nasa given, yung x, ito, yung 3.2, 3.5, and 3.3. Yan, compute natin, then log in dito. Then, minus ating sample mean na 333. Ito. Then, squared. Then, yan. Ito na yung kanyang final answer dito sa dito sa 3.2 minus 3.333. So, yan. Pagkatapos nito, is kunin natin yung total. Total. Yan. Ito. Pag na-total na, lagay natin sa formula. Over degrees of freedom. Compute. Degrees of freedom and minus 1 is, ang ano natin is 3 minus 1 is equals to 2. Then, ang ating yung degrees of freedom is 2. Yan. So, pag nilagay natin sa calcu, makukuha natin is 0.153. Yan. Okay, so nakuha na natin lahat ng value, plug in sa formula. Yan, ito ang formula natin. Substitute all the given. Yan. Substitute yung ating na-compute na sample mean, tsaka yung ating mean, standard deviation, tsaka yung ating n. Then, yan. Since na ano na natin, makukuha na natin si t-value na negative 0.76 is our final answer.
And that's all for my part. And I'll pass the mic to the next presenter. Thank you.